blessed me with a good night of sleep, decided to wake me up this morning. So I am blessed and thankful that He has graced me with this day. I'm going to see what kind of good I can do with it. And we're going to start right here on the Good Morning Show with quite a show. With me is Eddie Francis.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming back, my brother.
Oh, thanks for having me back.
Appreciate. And we got Gerard behind the glass. You know, I know y'all on Facebook and YouTube don't see him. We're going to have to get him on the camera somehow at some point. We did once some time ago.
Yeah, Jared is a man of few words.
Yeah,
and
right.
he likes being in the background.
Yep.
Did I get that right, Jared? You like being in the background, man of few words?
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of, maybe. Oh, okay. All right. We'll get you on camera then more often.
Yep. So we will rely on Mr. Rod to keep us rolling. We've got quite a lot going on in our city, in our state, in our nation, and in the world. And we're going to have some good stuff that we're going to explore today. So one of those things, we want to make sure that all our people out in Jefferson Parish know about this, and particularly our peeps in Kenner or from Kenner, working Kenner. We're going to have the Kenner mayoral candidates on for a forum this morning on the Good Morning Show. So for those of you all who never been to Kenner or haven't been to Kenner recently, or maybe you're driving through and not spending much time, Kenner is probably 18 to 20% black these days, and probably about 30% Latino.
Yeah.
So those numbers add up.
Yeah, that
not being a majority white population.
Yeah.
And so whoever is mayor certainly has to be responsible for all of the people. And in this case, it's not like you're living in a city with just 5% black people and 1% Latino people.
Yeah,
So I actually,
I used to live in Kenner.
Yeah.
And so after Katrina, I saw that shift. I saw that shift coming. And it was very, very clear that there was going to be a bit of a population shift as far as nationality and ethnicity. So this is going to be, I'm actually looking forward to the forum this morning because I think it's going to be a really, really interesting, it's going to be a very interesting look at what these candidates are seeing and how they believe Kenner needs to move forward. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. Well, we're excited that each of the three people running for mayor, including the incumbent, Mayor Glaser, decided to participate. And so unless things change for whatever reason, they're all expected to be here this morning in the studio at the same time. And we're going to explore some issues of importance to Kenner, the people of Kenner, Kenner issues, Jefferson Parish issues, and some more national issues where Kenner has been thrust into the limelight nationally over the last several months with all the ICE and Border Patrol kind of things as well. So meanwhile, it is 7:04 a.m., and that means it's Friday, and it is Friday! And still a school day.
Yeah.
Still a school day. So parents, guardians, nannies, TTs, you are responsible for getting those babies and kiddos off to school. But the rest of us are responsible for making sure we drive safely and drive slowly on the streets and highways to make sure our babies and our kiddos get to school. So that's 20 miles per hour in the school zones, and that's in effect until 9 a.m. So please, please, please take your time driving and slow down to make sure that you are taking care of yourself so that you can get other places. Make sure that you're not one of the crazy drivers, and make sure that the babies and kiddos get off to school on time. It is after 7 o'clock, so there are a number of people in Baton Rouge at the state capitol on their way to Baton Rouge from New Orleans, from Shreveport, from Monroe, and elsewhere for a Fair Maps mobilization. So this is a big deal. The state of Louisiana has redistricted its congressional maps. Other maps too. Let's be clear. Other maps too. State Senate districts, state House districts, but this has a special focus on the congressional districts in light of the Louisiana v. Calais Supreme Court decision, which ruled that the district that was drawn for the 6th district, currently represented by Congressman Cleo Fields, is unconstitutional. Unconstitutional. And therefore, it is should be null and void. And the Louisiana governor and Louisiana legislative leaders decided to get to work right away. And so that work starts today. So Friday is kind of a get out of town day for a lot of legislators. They might be around in the morning, but they're gone by mid-morning, late morning. Sometimes there are hearings, committee, this or that. Well, this one is going to be exciting because my understanding is there are 4 specific maps that they are considering at this point. Doesn't mean those maps can't change. But there are a bunch of people like me, like you, who are upset about the Supreme Court saying you shouldn't take race into consideration. But partisanship, that's perfectly fine. You want to benefit yourself, if you want to benefit your political party, that's okay. Just don't think about black people and other large groups of people who are not white as you put these districts together and therefore reduce the level of representation. So for those of you all who are on your way to Baton Rouge or you're already there, the first thing that's happening is a light breakfast and training at the Capitol Park Museum. So that's walking distance from the state capitol. That's not going to last long. It's light breakfast. No, you won't have an omelet station or anything like that. Light breakfast and some basic training about how to advocate for and make sure that things are getting down to the grassroots level in wherever you live. And then at 8:45, the group is going to walk over to the state capitol to have a bit of a rally, a gathering outside. And at 9 a.m., the Senate and Governmental Affairs Committee hearing is scheduled to start. The idea for those of us who want to see fair maps is that you voice your opinion about having fair maps in person if you're available, and if you're there in person, to grab a red card, which is I oppose this. Green card, I'm in favor of this. So there will be people from the Power Coalition who can assist you with that if you're on your way or there, if you've never been there before. Don't be afraid of kind of the legislative process. You can do this, can't do that, red card, green card. They will walk you through that. They're aiming to have 1,000 folks. No way 1,000 folks going to fit in the committee room for the Senate and Governmental Affairs Committee hearing. But what happens is you are in the main committee room, and then they identify other rooms where people can sit in support or opposing what's going on, and the cards can be distributed. And then in the hallway, so some of these legislators can see all these friendly but upset people in the hallways on their way in and on their way out if they take a bathroom break to make sure that it's real clear. But box lunches are provided after the hearing, and that's going to be short walk away over at the Capitol Park Museum. So this is a well-organized effort. The New Orleans bus was scheduled to leave at 6:30 a.m. and forget the time, but the bus was scheduled to leave from Shreveport, head over to Monroe, and then swing on down to Baton Rouge so that they could be there before the 8 a.m. start of the day. We're going to go to break, Eddie, but that's a big deal.
Yeah, very.
That's a big deal. So, all right, we will take your calls. And what is that number?
It is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422.
You're listening to WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Kubel, and here are today's headlines for you. Today, lawmakers in Baton Rouge will start the process of redrawing the Louisiana congressional map. The Supreme Court ruled Louisiana's current map unconstitutional, setting off a series of redistricting retaliation moves across the country. The court ruled that the map was considered racially gerrymandered. That led to Governor Jeff Landry suspending the House primary elections. Lawmakers are considering 4 options today. Also happening today, the Lafayette community will begin to say a final goodbye to a high school student killed in a senseless shooting at the Mall of Louisiana. A viewing for 17-year-old Martha Odom is today from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. at Martine and Castile Funeral Home, that's in Lafayette. Her funeral is Saturday morning at Episcopal Church of the Ascension. 17-year-old Markel Lee is accused in the shooting that also left 9 others hurt. He faces several charges, including first-degree murder. And the New Orleans City Council is pushing forward a major deal between Caesars and New Orleans. It is a move that Mayor Helena Moreno announced last week, meant to help with funding challenges. The City Council unanimously voted to approve the deal yesterday, which sells the right to future lease payments from Caesars Casino. The mayor says this money will be used to replenish the city's reserve fund, an account that is only utilized in the case of a major emergency like a hurricane. And that is a look for you at today's headlines. I'm Elizabeth Kubel for WBOK. Have a great day.
This is Monica Pierre along with Sally Ann Roberts Daybone, co-host of Your Power is On.
Tune in Sunday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for music that feeds the spirit. Get your Sunday on.
Right here on WBOK 1230 a.m. and WBOK1230.com, the station you listen to all day long.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. As BET's co-founder, Sheila Johnson has a ton of experience in media, but a lot's changed since she first got the black-focused entertainment cable network off the ground. Johnson spoke to Bloomberg about the state of media and what black audiences might be seeking out now.
I just think that the landscape and the racial landscape of what African Americans are watching is changing. And I just think that we have got such a broad perspective of people out there that want something different, especially this younger generation. So we need to reevaluate what are the goals of black media and what are the answers? What is it out there that we need to answer?
According to Nielsen, just over 50% of black viewers feel there isn't enough content on TV from people of their identity group. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Lowe's has the brands pros trust to get the job done. You can now shop new Catalyst fencing solutions and save big when you do. get 10% off when you buy in bulk. Plus, save $180 on a DeWalt 12-inch dual bevel sliding compound miter saw. Now just $449. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Liberty Mutual customize this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton, and here with me is Eddie Francis, and we are excited to be with you this morning. A lot of big things happening. We've got a big Fair Maps mobilization in Baton Rouge today. If you can't make it, you can tune in at 9 a.m. on the legislative website. Look for the Senate and Governmental Affairs Committee hearing. It will be streamed so that you can take a look and see that. We had the wonderful opportunity, WBOK did, to have the woman who has launched the exciting recall Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry recall petition mobilization on the reality check. And Gerard was able to get that interview. You heard an extended interview if you were listening. The only news media outlet with an extended conversation with Ms. Caitlin Patricia Collins, who is working with Marion Bowen, I believe her name is, on this recall. So we want to make sure that the Good Morning Show listeners hear some of that, and so you're up to speed on, well, what is going on? Who is this woman? Is this real? Well, we got answers for you, and I think we're about ready with the first clip.
The founder, the co-chair, I'm the co-chair. The chair, she is Marion. She was fed up. She's been fed up.
Right.
And she actually called me, you guys. I was in the grocery store, and she was like, look, I need you to come in with me. And we came together and we did this. And we both have been working our tails off. So I do want to throw this out there. If anybody is trying to reach us and trying to do interviews, again, we are a two-woman show here. So we are doing everything we can to get this as organized and as mobilized as possible, because this is not just in Baton Rouge, not just in New Orleans. We're all over the state. So we want to make sure that everybody has a chance to sign this petition. But yeah, she was fed up, and I was fed up with her. And we went in and we did everything. And I'm so glad that, everybody is supporting us with it.
Very good.
So,
okay. So a lot of people have been asking, well, who is this person and how did this get started? Well, there you have part of the answer. What you think?
That is impressive, because the part of it that strikes me is Marion was fed up and wanted to do something about it, and actually jumped into action. And so, and listen, I mean, I think that Marion is probably doing something that people have talked about, but have either thought that, one, it would not work, Or two, they were afraid to do it. They were afraid to go out and ask people or ask people, what do they think? Do they think that this is something worth doing? And so, yeah, I'm actually impressed. I love the story so far. And so it is actually it's actually pretty interesting to hear somebody say, I was so fed up, I decided to take action, and the action is happening. And as they are finding out very quickly, there's a wealth of interest in what they're doing. And so, yeah, I'm very impressed. Very.
All right. Well, she also talked about taking signatures in that process, and how that has to be, because this is not like a GoFundMe or something where you can go online and sign in, or with some of the other platforms where you can electronically, digitally sign a petition, add your name to the list of being upset with this or that, or in favor of a certain thing for federal legislation or state legislation. That's not how this works with recalls. So there's some very specific guidelines, and so she's learning a lot real fast about that. So I think we have another clip from her conversation with Gerard Stevens.
2 days. We did, and it was overwhelming. Like, we ran out of sheets, literally. And so that was just amazing support for the first 2 days. But we are not taking signatures today nor tomorrow, because, again, our focus is on organizing and mobilizing our volunteers and kind of distinguishing who is our leaders. Because, again, we have to get 600,000 signatures, you guys, in 180 days, right? So we have a little about 6 months to get this done, and we are trying to make sure that we are, doing things on the up and up, and we're doing things in the right way. We don't want signatures getting voided. We want to do this, and we want to do it right. So we want to have volunteers and leaders all over the state. So, again, if you would like to be a volunteer or if you would like to be a leader, please go to our social media sites and click the link in our bios and fill out that volunteer survey. We might be a little slow, but trust me, we are getting to people. We are communicating as promptly as we can.
Okay. So this was on Wednesday. So she says Thursday and Friday, basically, that they are not going to be taking signatures because they're overwhelmed, and they're, as she said, they're a two-woman operation, and they got to get themselves organized so that they can plot
a whole bunch
out.
of folks that think they
they have to figure this out, and she said 600,000. My read of it in the recall petition process is not 600,000, but it's more than 500,000. So you got to have 20% of the active registered voters to sign.
Yeah.
20%.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as many of us who don't vote and aren't registered, it's important that if you're not registered to vote, it doesn't make a difference if you sign.
Right.
Because you are not a registered
Yeah.
voter.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't make a difference if you haven't voted in the last 2 or 3 elections. If you're a registered voter, you can sign. And I'll take it another step. If you are on the inactive list, and just some weeks ago, the Orleans Parish inactive list, unfortunately, was 38,000 people. But just because you're on that list doesn't mean you can't sign the petition, because you're still registered to vote, but you're about to be unregistered if you
Yeah.
don't participate.
Yeah.
Another reason to participate in this month's set of elections. She had a lot more to talk with Gerard about, and Gerard had questions, but we're going to listen to some more from Ms. Collins.
Has questions about where you can sign, how you can volunteer, I would recommend you follow our Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok pages. If you need that, I can give that to you. You can follow me on TikTok at Caitlin Patricia. That's Katilyn Patricia, Patricia. You can also follow Marion. She is amazing. She's actually the one that started this thing and brought me in on it. Her Instagram and Facebook is going to be the same thing. It is MarianGBAIWON. So her social media handles are the same across the board. Mine is going to change up a little bit. It's going to be Caitlin Patricia on TikTok, Katie Bug on IG, KATII3BUG, and Caitlin Patricia Collins on Facebook. So it's very important that you guys follow our social medias for the most up-to-date information.
Okay, so if you are fired up, pissed off, frustrated, angry, with things in the state, and in particular with MAGA Governor Jeff Landry, here's a way you can voice that concern and a desire for change. There's no way this can even go to the people for a vote without more than 500 registered voters, 500,000 registered voters signing this petition. That is a lot of people. As you know, there have been recall efforts across the state in some smaller communities, occasionally successful, but often they fail for a number of reasons. One is that people sign with names of characters, or somebody else's name and it's not their name.
Yeah.
Or they sign their name and it's not the name that's on the voter registration. So you have to be really careful about things like that. And then it has to be in person, and it has to be on paper. And sometimes, if you have a tremor or, some other issues, sometimes it might be hard for you to slow down enough to sign it. And so somebody has to, take the time to work with you to do that if you're intent on being a part of this process.
They're going to need a lot of volunteers, to pull this off. And not only are they going to need a lot of volunteers, they're going to need a lot of gas in the tanks. And so they're going to have to figure out what it looks like to do this across the state. Do they make it a road show? Which, if they make it a road show, is going to be really hard for them to get critical mass. If they set up, groups in the major cities throughout the state, they could pull it off. But then that becomes a quality control issue, and so they're going to have to be really strategic about this, and they're going to need a lot of volunteers, and they're going to need volunteers who are locked in and who want to do it. And when I say do it, they're going to have to they're going to need volunteers who are going to really, really, really want to do it and see the thing through. They can't have people who are saying, "Oh, I'm going to volunteer," and then they set up, a sign-in station, and then somebody just doesn't show up, or somebody shows up and they half do the job. Which, to your point, if they half do the job, they're going to miss a whole lot of people putting Mickey Mouse and cartoon characters. They're going to miss that sort of thing. So this is gonna take a lot of work, a whole lot of work on their part.
Yeah, so let me give you some context, because I know there are a bunch of people saying, well, they're not from a political party. They're not from an organization. They're not from this. They're not that. They're not this. This is defeated before it even gets going. Well, let me help you out a little bit. It's a large hill to climb, but it is not impossible. And there are people who track recall efforts in specific communities where they might not be frequent, but they come up periodically, and for different types of offices. Not always a governor. It might be a fire district commissioner, or it might be an elected police chief.
Yeah.
It could be a city council member or a jury, parish jury member. So to give an idea, in 2010, so I'm going to take it back intentionally. I'm not going to go through all these years, but I'm going to give you some context. In 2010, there were recall efforts of 216. 216. But for whatever reason, those recall efforts failed. And so it did not result in a recall election.
Mm-hmm.
So the recall election is when you've been successful with the petitions and you get the election, and then the voters get to decide he or she stays in or he or she is out. So that's how that would move in the case of Governor Landry in this recall petition. Then there are, in 2010, there were 55 officials who were the subject of a recall election, and the recall election failed. So they remained in office. But I want you to listen. 216 recall efforts, and it didn't result in a recall election. Recall petition effort that failed to get a recall election. 55 were defeated with the recall in office. I mean, the candidate, the people who were the subject of the recall were able to defeat the recall and stay in office. But 93 were removed from office.
Interesting.
Hear that number.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
55 beat the recall. 93 faced the recall and lost and were booted out of office. That's in 2010. All right, so let me move to a closer date and give you additional context. In 2021, there were 478 officials who were the subject of recall efforts. So that's 478. Of that number, 42 defeated the recall effort and remained in office. But 25, the recall election went against them and they lost their seats. So each of these years, this is just 2 years, these are recall efforts. There are many more that start and fail for whatever reason to get a recall election. But when they do, some of them aren't enough votes from the voting population to say, we're going to get the person out of office, and so the person remains in office. But then there's the other group where it gets successful with the petition, gets to a re-election, and the re-election recall is successful and boot these people out of office. And in 2021, that was 25. So just in 2025, so last year, we had 267 people who were facing recall efforts. And 32 of them were removed from office. Yes, these are smaller numbers in terms of who was removed from office, but it's not like a recall effort is never successful.
Mm-hmm.
There are successful efforts to get into a recall election and successful efforts to recall an elected official. Okay, we got some callers. Good morning, Ryan. You're on Will Sutton and Eddie Francis.
Good morning, sirs. How are y'all?
Fabulous. How are you?
I'm well.
Good. What you got for us?
Didn't they do that in California? That's a big state.
Yeah. That
I think that was a successful one, I believe.
Yeah. So there have been a number of successful, some of them high profile. And in California, they have a history of ballot measures and amendments and recalls. So that that's why you're able to think of California.
Was that 03 or 04?
Well, they had, over the years, California has had about 180 recall efforts, and 11 of them had enough signatures to go to a recall. And overall, in California, of that number, there have been 6 instances where the official lost their office. So I don't have.
The one I'm thinking.
There was one in 21.
Yes.
That was for Gavin Newsom, but that recall election failed.
Yeah, that was an effort.
Yeah. Oh, it was an effort.
And then the recall election.
Oh, so there was a recall election.
And millions of dollars were spent on it, too.
Yeah. Is that the one you're thinking about, Ryan?
That's the trick. Pardon?
Is that the one you're thinking about?
No. I'm thinking of one with Arnold and the one when I think Arnold ended up taking over the governorship.
Ah, okay.
I believe. I forget the fella's name.
Oh, okay. In 03, that's what you're talking.
04.
Yeah, 2003 is what you're talking about.
A while back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So that resulted in Schwarzenegger becoming governor. So the recall was to replace the Democratic governor at the time, Gray Davis.
Right. That's right. That's his name. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was the late part of 03. But here's the thing. So there had been recall efforts before that election. And that's the one that actually got Davis out of office. So there you go. That's the one you're talking about. And that one passed with 55.39%. So there you go. Yep.
Yeah. I remember being there. It's the first time I had actually flown to California. And people were talking about it because it was a big deal to we're going to take down the governor and whatnot. It was kind of a big deal. So like my good friend's father and was a finance man, and he was, kind of for it, but also he was like, this is unstable ground we're treading on. He was a very pragmatic person. But I don't know. If there's a time to do it, it'd probably be right now. At least put some pressure on them boots,
Yeah. So
because they don't feel like there's nothing.
So do you like what Ms. Collins and her friend are doing? You think there's a chance? If you have the opportunity, will you sign the petition?
Yes, I would sign it. I would sign it so that the people can actually go out and vote, or vote for their governor or not. And let's see what a real majority looks like, or a minority.
And what would be your motivation to sign?
My motivation would, because if they can do this right now, if they can strip away rights, voting rights, what can they do in 5 to 10 years to our children?
I got you.
So
okay.
Let's see what a real majority looks like.
All right. Wonderful. Lord's blessings. Thanks for your call.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
All right. And we got another call. Good morning, Papa Batiste. Will Sutton and Eddie Francis with you. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm hanging in for somebody that's 78, going on 79. I'm still walking and talking.
You stepping out and stepping up and kicking high. So
God is great. We had a great jazz festival, my family, from my little nephew John to myself and my brothers and my nieces and nephews. We got some critical, absolutely super writing about my family and what we did. So what I'm calling about is pertaining to what my family do is music and what we did at the Jazz Fest. We had kids from 4 years old on up to my oldest son, Damon, 58 years old, on stage. So we use music. So saying that to say this, why don't the Democratic Party try and get a freeze music day in Louisiana? No music nowhere. In the schools, no marching, no second line, no jigaboos, none of this other kind of stuff. Just freeze the music, freeze the cooks, don't let them cook no food, don't do nothing. Just everybody call in sick. Just everybody, all the musicians, all the cooks, everybody just call in sick. Even some of the black police officers call in sick. And just stop it and freeze it. Like that. Y'all too young to remember this movie, The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Oh, come on now, Papa Batiste. I'm not too far behind you in age. I remember that movie.
You saw everything stop. So they're counting on us, and then the musicians, man, let me tell you, since all of the music is controlled by 3 to 4 white persons, all the big gigs, all the big money, all the big stuff, they go to the whites first, and then they send down to the little homies and whoever else. But nobody gets that big paycheck like the white boys, and nobody gets the support like the little young white kids coming out. Now you got the young, you can't say nothing against them because I love all artists. Because it's not the artists, it's the environment. So this whole racist, oppressive environment, the musicians cannot support this like they could in California and other places, because they would take food off their tables, flat out, because these people control all the big money gigs, the big money clubs. It's not like when I came up, you had wonderful club owners, the Doucette brothers, Ellen Bonneray, you had the Sydney, the guys on the club set. You had great club owners that provided work for the musicians.
Papa Batiste, we're going to have to go to break, but before we do, do you like the idea of these couple of sisters pursuing this recall effort? Are you supportive, and would you sign?
I would sign it. I support it, because what he's doing is taking rights from all of those kids that was on the stage from 4 years old on up to my oldest son. He's taking away their voting rights. He's trying to make them look like what they do don't count. And it's a racial thing. It's not political and stuff. It's flat out racist. We live in a racist environment. We are in a red state. The R is for racist, and we got a Supreme Court justice that come out of an area that Harry Lee used to say, if they driving through here, stop them because they don't belong back here. This is a segregated area.
Okay. All right. Lord's blessings.
That's the Black Caucus. I love you guys.
All right. Lord's blessings, sir. Have a fabulous day. Thank you so much for calling. We got to take a break, but, looks like we might be able to take another call or two. We see you, CJ, so hang in there. Eddie, what is that talk line number?
It is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422.
This is WBOK, 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Hi, I'm Leo Jackson, host of Sunday Gospel here every Sunday morning, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 12 o'clock till 2 p.m. You don't want to miss this move of God. It happens only on WBOK. You listen to all day long.
City Park is where to go when you don't know where to go. Turn towards the city center and start walking. Before long, you'll end up where you belong, at the heart of the city, New Orleans City Park. Stroll along the reeded marsh, wander through the sculpture garden, rest and recharge beneath ancient oak trees. This is where your spirit goes to grow. It's in our nature to yearn for nature. NewOrleansCityPark.org, heart of the city.
Our power bill's up again.
Oh, feels like everything costs more these days.
I saw Mark Wright and John Young are running for the Public Service Commission. Could they help?
The PSC controls our electric bills. Definitely not.
Why not?
Well, Mark Wright wrote the law raising Louisiana's sales tax to the highest in America. Then Wright took thousands from utility companies he'd regulate. Even tried letting politicians use campaign cash on fancy perks. And the other guy, John Young, backed a $22 million property tax plan.
So both have a record of making folks pay more, and now Wright and Young want to take control of our power bill.
Unfortunately.
Sounds like Mark Wright and John Young are wrong for the PSC.
Very wrong.
Paid for by Fair Rates First, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. FairRatesFirst.com.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton. I'm here with Eddie Francis. We are talking about the recall effort that a couple of sisters started, and looks like it's picking up steam. So we will be watching that. Meanwhile, we got another call. Good morning, DJ. You are on the line with Will Sutton and Eddie Francis. How are you? DJ.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can now.
I'm here. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes. Gotcha.
All right. Good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
Here's the thing. I'm so grateful for Papa Batiste to get on this phone. I mean, it's a shame that this 78-year-old man had to be the one to lay out the blueprint as far as what needs to happen. Sure, recall, great, wonderful, but there's this thing is multifaceted. Like the real thing, like he said, you got to stop. You got to choke them. Here's the thing. White folks understand two languages: money and war. That's it. So if you're not talking money and you're not talking war, they don't hear you. So the thing is, you have to cut them off where they're going to feel it, and that's in their pockets. And most of their pockets is generated from our labor. So like he said, cut down the music, cut down it. Just stop doing what you're doing to generate their money, and then they will come to the table. Hey, has this ever happened before? Yes, it has. Montgomery bus boycott. Y'all can't ride the bus. Oh, okay, we won't ride the bus. Fine, y'all go ahead. But guess what? All that black folks' money going back and forth on the bus every day, they start filling in their pockets. Then it's like, oh, hey, let's come back to the table. Oh, we can withstand you all riding the bus. Oh, really? That's what I thought. So here's the thing. There's a blueprint for this. We just have to use it. Papa Batiste said it. Many people have said it, but we are so ingrained, and we are in a position where we can't be uncomfortable for too long, because we got to run back to this grocery store or do this or do that. It's sacrifice. The old folks back in the day, they understood sacrifice and they understood discipline. Those things today we no longer have. And because they know that, they can do whatever they want to us, and we're just going to take it. Just like you just said, Eddie, it's going to take a whole lot of discipline for those volunteers to do this and do that. Are we confident that's going to happen? No, we aren't, because we're not there yet. We're not willing to stop taking the bus. We're not willing to stop going to other people's grocery stores. We're not willing to stop buying Nike and doing. We're not willing to do that. We're not willing to make that sacrifice.
So DJ,
because we're not. It's unfortunate.
Quick question though, DJ. I mean, the Montgomery bus boycott. Those were people who didn't take the bus to work; they walked to work. So they still had their jobs. And I understand what Papa Batiste was proposing, but what about musicians and other folks losing their jobs? Because what he was suggesting is that people don't work. And on top of that, we have to remember Louisiana is a right-to-work state. So if somebody chooses not to go to work and their boss gets a bug up their butt, then the boss can say, okay, you're not coming to work? Fine, don't come back ever. And so Are we talking about? Is this an apples to apples comparison?
Hold on. Let Eddie finish, and then we'll get back to you. Hold on,
is this an apples to apples comparison? Because it comes across to me as an apples to oranges comparison.
Here's the thing: if you have 10,000 workers in New Orleans stop going to work, I guarantee you somebody's going to listen. Okay, what you gonna do if 10,000 people call from work? What are they going to do? If all the people in the hotels don't go to work, what's going to happen? Somebody else going to lose their job too, right? We all going to be out of job. Now what?
Okay.
Right? It's about sacrifice.
Well, it's about sacrifice,
okay.
but here, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm bringing forth the question about people who need their jobs and who are afraid to do this kind of thing legitimately because they are. I mean, workplace abuse and trauma is very, very real. If they lose this job, where are they going to get another job? And they need their money. And we already have a horrible unemployment problem in the country right now already. So that's what I'm trying to work through. How does this get done in a way that people don't suffer?
You need your job. You need your job to do what? To pay rent, right? So if you don't pay rent, then the person who owns the place, then they can't pay. Then it's a trickle down effect. What they gonna do? Take team to court? No clerks in the court. What they gonna do? No, there's no clerks in the court. Everybody's shut down. Have you been to the courthouse? That's all of us run the courthouse. That's us. If none of us go, if all of us participate, then guess what? Everything shuts down. We don't realize that we're the heartbeat of this city. We're the heartbeat of the state. So if the heartbeat stops, look at your human body. If the heart stops, nothing goes. New Orleans is the heartbeat of this state. And once we realize that, if everything goes through us, we're the veins, we're the aorta, we're the arteries, and if we shut it down, the entire body shuts down. That's power. Okay. But we don't realize it because we're afraid of the palpitations that's going to happen in between that time. We're afraid of that heart attack. Forget the heart attack. Listen, it's war. These people have told us to our face that they are taking the gloves off, and yet we still want to play around. No, these people are serious. Guess what? The way they're going, you're going to be jobless and homeless anyway. We might as well start fighting right now.
Okay, all right. I got you. So, Thank you, DJ. Appreciate you, bro.
All right.
Okay. All right. Lord's blessing. Thank you for calling. Okay, we now got another call. Tamika, you're on with Will Sutton and Eddie Francis. What's on your mind?
Hi. Good morning, Will. Good morning, Eddie.
Good morning.
Before I begin what I wanted to say in regards to the recall, as far as what the last gentleman said, the last caller, I mean, his last sentence was spot on. I agree. I also agree with your question, Eddie, in regards to, people's livelihood and, there's people such as myself, we do depend on our paycheck. We need to work. We got to pay bills. Don't want to be homeless. But I do agree with what he's saying. We are the heartbeat of this state. I think that at this point, these people, they've taken the gloves off. They don't care. They're laughing. I watched Tennessee is going through the same exact thing, as congressmen, as the protesters are in their chambers, basically shouting and saying how it's unfair. And there's a congressman walking around with a Trump, looks like what is a blanket, and laughing. But, that's neither here nor there. They're going through their own struggle. As far as Louisiana is concerned, it's time for us to fight. And I commend Marion and Caitlin. This is something that stays heavy on my heart, and it has been ever since this governor's taken office. I think, and I know it's not all white folks. I hate to put everybody in a box. I know there's some out there that's fighting for the cause, and they're ashamed that, with their ancestors and the generations that are still here, that's still problematic in trying to take the rights of Black folks, minorities. So I know it's not all white folks, but I commend Marion and Caitlin. I am for the recall. My question is, and there's a caller that comes on usually in the evenings, Ron. he announced that on starting Monday at 1429 Newton Street is where you would be able to go and sign the recall. And I guess my question is this valid? Is his group a part of the a part of the recall, part of the efforts on our side as far as our parishes? I just want to make sure, because I've been telling everybody, I'm telling everybody by Facebook, Instagram, my Instagram stories, my family that I'm talking to. But he mentioned that starting Monday, 1429 Newton Street in Algiers is where you would go to recall, sign the recall. So I just want to make sure that I'm giving the best information, because it's time. And Mr. Baptiste, I 100% agree. I always piggyback to, like they mentioned, the boycott when, our ancestors and those that fought, John Lewis, Martin Luther King, and, others help with the boycott. And that's how we have the rights to not have to sit to the back of the bus. And, and all the other rights. We can go into restaurants. We have these luxuries. And I don't want this generation to forget that. So I'm always stressing it. But that is my question, gentlemen. The 1429 Newton Street, is this something that's valid? Because I don't want to give out the wrong information, but I am 100% for the recall.
Okay, Tamika, I'll answer your question. Lord's blessings, and thank you so much for calling. Have a great day.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
So, Tamika, thanks for calling. Thanks for your interest and curiosity. Your support of the recall effort. The address that I have is not 1429. The address that I have is 1529 Newton. So a short distance away. I can't say whether that's an official thing. All I can tell you that on social media where I've seen it, it is 1529 Newton Street in Algiers, 70114. There are the handles for social media that Ms. Collins provided during the interview with Gerard Stevens, and one of those is at MARINGBAIWON. Do you have one of the others?
I was actually looking for Ms. Collins' social media handles, but I did start following Ms. Baywan.
Okay, and Collins is at KATII 3 BUG, BUG, at KATII 3 BUG. So that's where we can find out if it's official, but the address that I have reported is 1529 Newton. We're taking a break, and after that, man, oh man, we got the candidates for mayor of Kenner. Very important election. Happy to have each of the candidates agreed to participate, and we're going to bring that to you in short order. I am Will Sutton, and with me is Eddie Francis. This is WBOK, 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Hey, this is Steve Poston. Be sure to listen to WBOK 12:30 a.m. every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and Sunday evening at 5 p.m. bringing you the best Southern Soul barroom music with the Southern Soul Weekend Party Mix, hosted by me, of course. I'll be playing your favorite Southern Soul music by artists from all over the South, right here on WBOK 12:30 a.m. or online at WBOK1230.com. The station you listen to longer. Listen to longer. Listen to longer.
Transform your bathroom with the beautiful quality of Bath Planet. As a trusted leader in bathroom renovation, Bath Planet has earned the Good Housekeeping seal, a symbol of quality and consumer confidence for over 100 years. Get half off installation or 18 months with no interest and no payments. Whether it's tub replacement, a shower replacement, or a tub-to-shower conversion, Bath Planet makes your custom bath fast, easy, and affordable. Here's how it works. 1. Call to schedule your free, no-obligation consultation. 2, our design experts come to you with real samples to customize your dream bath. 3, our certified installers complete the transformation in as little as 1 day. And right now, for a limited time, you can upgrade your bathroom for 50% off installation or choose 18 months with no interest and no payments. But you need to call now. This special offer is only available by calling 800-981-8177. That's 800-981-8177. Call 800-981-8177 right now before the offer ends.
LifeCare provides valuable whole life insurance to cover final expenses such as medical bills, burial costs, and unpaid debt. A final expense insurance policy is fast, easy, affordable life insurance that's available to anyone between the ages of 50 and 80. No medical exams, no lengthy questionnaires, and no waiting period. The application process is quick and easy. You can even apply without having to undergo a medical examination. Just answer a few questions and we'll do the rest. With the average funeral cost skyrocketing to $11,000 and Social Security only paying $255, you need simple, affordable peace of mind for you and your whole family. Don't leave behind unpaid expenses that, if left unattended, will burden your family tremendously. Benefits include a guaranteed premium that will never increase, a guaranteed cash value, and a guaranteed death benefit that can never decrease. To find out how you can get final expense insurance with a guaranteed lifetime rate lock, call LifeCare at 800-571-9955. That's 800-571-9955. 800-571-9955.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Speaking at a cryptocurrency panel in Miami, Senator Rick Scott pushed the Clarity Act, which would ban a central bank digital currency.
They'll use it to hurt you. Eventually, if they want to, they just say, we took all your money.
Scott criticized rising housing and healthcare costs and renewed his no budget, no pay proposal, saying lawmakers shouldn't get paid if Congress fails to fund the government on time. Black Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass is being sued by the city's firefighter union leader. Freddie Escobar claims the mayor retaliated against him for criticizing fire resources during the Palisades fire. He accused the mayor of organizing a smear campaign. And Kanye West took the stand in a Los Angeles copyright trial. He's accused of using an unauthorized sample in an early version of Hurricane. The producers suing say he owes more than $560,000, a claim West disputes. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
to the Good Morning Show. For those of you all who have been in tune with us since 7:02, 04, 06, 7:25, 7:45, or if you're just tuning in, don't worry, you're right on time because we're happy to have you with us on this glorious day that the Lord has blessed us with. So I am happy to be here. I'm Will Sutton. I'm happy that Eddie Francis is here. And I am really happy that we have the opportunity to hear from all three candidates for mayor of Kenner, one of the most important communities in the greater New Orleans area, one of the most important communities in the state of Louisiana, and a place that got in the news not long ago. And we always have issues that are central to the different communities. Some are parish-wide, some are the statewide. And in Kenner's case, for our WBOK family of listeners, one of the reasons that we at this Black Talk radio station wanted to make sure that we have this conversation is because, and if I get any of this wrong, please correct me. My understanding is that Kenner is about 18 to 20% Black and about 30% Latino, something like that. Mm-hmm. So that's roughly
and growing.
Yeah, and growing. And Eddie lived in Kenner for a while.
What?
So
Yeah.
So he's actually seen the transition and the growth through the years. I've been in and out of Kenner, but we are here to talk with you all about what your plans are. Of course, we have the incumbent mayor, Mayor Glasser, with us. Glazer, I'm sorry.
Thank you for the invitation.
All right, thank you. We have Walt Benetti.
I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you and your audience.
Okay, and we have Diane now.
Thank you for having us. I appreciate it.
Okay, all right.
Pleasure to be here.
All right, so we're going to start with opening statements of up to 2 minutes. You don't have to use all 2 minutes. If you want to use all 2 minutes, you can, and as you get closer, I'm going to give you an indication of 10 seconds left, 5, and so forth.
Okay.
Just ask for your cooperation on that. So who would like to go first, second, third? All right.
I'll go ahead.
Okay.
There's no problem.
All
All
right.
right.
Okay.
So thanks again, like I said, for having us here today. My name is Diane Schnell. I am of Hispanic descent. My parents are from Honduras. I am running for mayor because I was raised in Kenner, and I did not. I started to feel that, like you said before, we had an increase, a large increase in the population of the Latino community, diverse community, not just Latino community, of all kinds. I felt that the direction we were going in, we needed to have some more representation. We needed to have someone who could understand the city. Since I grew up there, I wanted to be able to, I knew I had seen a city once before where, I could go skating and I could take my kids to do, wonderful, amazing recreational things. And it was a very, very safe city, and I had very great memories. And then I see a complete chaos, like what I called chaos. Like I started to see like floods and businesses close and kids afraid to go to school and parents afraid to go to the grocery stores, and just looked like we were going really, really backwards, really, really fast. And so after many, many, many long thoughts about how can we fix this or how can we work around this, I made a decision that the best way to do it is to step up and to qualify and run for mayor.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you. My name is Michael Glazer. I am a lifelong Kenner resident. I pretty much lived and did everything around Metro New Orleans. I would like to say that most of it happened in Kenner, but we don't have high schools at the time, no high schools and colleges in Kenner, so I had to go to Archbishop Brummel and then Loyola University. But I was headed to retirement after 32 years working for the Kenner Police Department. The last 8 in my career there was chief of police. And the city of Kenner was just stopped. I mean, there's money on the table that projects were just funded and nothing was being done. I do understand, COVID had a shutdown, but this happened long before COVID ever took place. Decided to run and was elected with 75% of the vote and tried to bring it back to just the basics of government. If you heard me speak before, government's not glamorous. You don't show up and just, get all the accolades. It takes a lot of hard work, and there's 3 pretty much main areas of government. It's, revenue. You can't do anything without revenue. Infrastructure is the biggest challenge we have in the city of Kenner, is the aging infrastructure from roadways to wastewater. That's the 2 monumental, areas that we put tens of millions of dollars annually into these two areas. And then quality of life. You have your police, you have your fire, parks, recreation, and community development. That's the 4 main areas of quality of life, and it's a challenge. The fire department, when we came in, state law pretty much governs how the pay is set up, and why Kenner has never followed the law. I can't come to an answer. So we did correct it. A millage was passed, and we did correct that part of it. Thank you.
Thanks. My name is Walt Benetti. I ran for mayor in 2014. I never thought I would run for political office again. I moved to Kenner in 2000, so I've lived here for the past 26 years. For the past 20 years, after Katrina in particular, I have been involved watching government and trying to make Kenner better. I led the citizens group in 2011 that defeated Mike Yenny's plan to double Kenner's property taxes. That has saved Kenner residents $175 million in their pockets over the last 15 years. I have always stood up for the people of Kenner, even though I've never been elected or appointed to anything. No matter where you live, whether it's Lincoln Manor, Susan Park, South Kenner, University City, Driftwood, Highway Park, whenever Kenner has needed someone to stand up, to fight for them, to fight against a mayor trying to close playgrounds that affected our youth, to fight against taxes and fees, I have stood up, and I will continue standing up. And as mayor, I can do a lot more, and that's why I'm running. I have not seen the level of the pace of growth that I had expected. When Mayor Glazer was elected in 2022, I was hopeful. I wanted things to be better. I love Kenner. I choose to live there. I could live anywhere in the world I want. I have no family in Kenner, no family in Louisiana. My family is in Florida and Pennsylvania. So I could be anywhere, but I choose to live in Kenner, and I choose to fight for the people of Kenner and to try to make a difference.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to ask you something that you've done over and over again before becoming a candidate for mayor, before being in an elected office or as a public figure, back to when you were early in your career, in college, high school. But here's how we say it at WBOK. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to answer this question in the way that you want to. Tell us a little bit about who you are. Who's your mama now?
Who's your mama now?
Say your name so people know.
Oh, Diane Schnell. So like I said, I was raised with two Honduran parents. And so I was raised bilingual, obviously. My parents, I went into journalism as a for school, I ended up wanting to go to law school and studied for law, or tried to have, go that path. During that time, I found an interest in journalism, and I did end up doing both. So, I've been always in the community in some way, shape, or form. I was kind of thrown in the community by force sometimes because I was the only one who spoke English, and I would have to stand up for somebody in my community. And that's really the truth. And that's what led me into like thinking, about justice, and we need justice in the world, and that's one of the other things that made me go to law school. Like I wanted to go to law school to learn about the laws and what was transpiring with what's happening in the community. And then journalism, I've always had an interest in journalism for like investigative purposes or things like that. Learning about when people would call us and complain, or people would give us even good news or tell us what's happening in the community. So I have a pretty diverse background. Of course, I have 4 kids. Also, when I became a mother, I went full into their education, was very much interested in making sure that they had, obviously like any parent, a good life integrated with good people. And so that's why I say sports is very important, because I happen to have 3 boys and 1 girl, and they all love sports and they have done really well in sports. One of my sons actually ended up in a D1 college school, played almost like literally. And so they've done really, really well. And so that is a really important process of my my plan, with that. So I got into early education because of that situation with my kids. But diversely, I've done pretty much everything. I've helped even launch Telemundo, the first.
All right, thank you. Mayor?
Thank you. Well, Mom and them, also lifelong Kenner resident. I think my family, on my mother's side, has been in the city of Kenner from its beginning. I don't say it a lot because it really has no bearing on, today. Is my great-great-grandfather was the first mayor of the city of Kenner. My great-grandfather was the sheriff of Jefferson Parish for approximately 30 years. Washington Elementary School was the first African-American school in Kenner that pretty much the Clancy family donated the land, and so they can build this school. So that's kind of just the ties to old Kenner. Mm-hmm. As a kid, like I said, went to Rummel, played every sport through Kenner Recreation. When my kids were there, we always looking for coaches. Then I became a coach. Was I a good coach, a bad coach? I don't know. Basketball, I got thrown out of a gym as a coach. So, when you got passion, you need to, even when they 8 and 9 year olds. So, with that, I've been pretty much not on the worker bee side is what I've done most of my young career, and then just kind of progressed into, as I rose through the police department, where we'd be the first one to set up activities and all. But as you get to leadership and things like that, you pulled in 1,000 different directions, and you don't have time to be the worker bee anymore. And you just kind of like this, you come sit here and become a talking head, and you rely on everybody else to get things done and make you feel better. But that's kind of where I'm at. I've always been kind of the one that I'd rather put my hands on it and build something than sit in a room and come up with an idea.
Walt Benetti, my mom and them are all dead. I am the oldest candidate in the race. I may not look it, but I am. And I was raised by a single mother. She worked 2 and 3 jobs to raise me, to house me, to feed me. I have mad respect for single parents out there. In 2012, I had an accident and I hurt my leg. And I nearly died because I had an infection that spread throughout my body. My mom was living in Florida at the time. She came here while I was hospitalized. And subsequently, her and my stepdad moved to Louisiana. They have both died now. After my stepfather passed, my mom, we moved my mother to Kenner. She loved Kenner. Unfortunately, she only lived in Kenner for about 6 months before she had a brain aneurysm and died. But she loved Kenner. I love Kenner. It's interesting that Mayor Glazer brought up Washington Elementary, because we all have ties to Washington Elementary, even though I never went to school there and never lived in South Kenner. When the Jefferson Parish School Board, when Ms. Schnell was appointed to it, decided to close schools and close Washington Elementary, I stood up and helped get that closing delayed for a year so that parents and families could have an opportunity to adjust to a new school, so they could have a year to have more time. Mayor Glazer was mayor of Kenner. He didn't step up. He didn't stand up for the people of South Kenner. He didn't stand up for Washington Elementary. Ms. Schnell was on the school board, like I said. I didn't hear her stand up, but I stood up. And that's why I have deep roots in Kenner, even though I've only been here for 26 years. I care about the people of Kenner, and I care about the future of Kenner. That's why I'm running.
Okay. So you mentioned a specific candidate, so you have 30 seconds.
To respond, yes. Actually, it's ironic that he brings that up because I was invited yesterday to the group that was part of the Washington Elementary closing because of the fact that I did stand up for the closing of the Washington Elementary. They appreciated the way I was vocal, advocating to not close the school, and they invited me, and I was there yesterday morning. So it's funny he brought that up.
Eddie?
So a question for all three of you. What would you say would be the most pressing quality of life issues that's your sense that citizens have talked about? Michelle, I'll start with you.
Okay. Pardon me? Oh, Diane Chanel. Yes, Diane Chanel. The only woman in the race, just in case. Anyway. So I think that we need to hear more from the community. I feel like we need more like town halls. When I was on the school board, we had town halls, regular town halls in different parts of the areas in our districts. I believe that works. I believe listening to the community, hearing how things are going. We run a government, or we're part of running the government, making sure funds go to taxpayer funds are being, it's not being abused or being used the way the taxpayers want them to be used. So I feel that we need to hear from the public more, and I feel that's one of the biggest things that I say. Communication is huge. If we just go by whatever system is in place right now, that's not working. Because I'm in the community. Before qualifying, I had to pause my journalism community job, and being in that job is where we would get a lot of calls about the complaints for things happening in Kenner. So I feel like if maybe those calls weren't just coming to the media and they were coming to government, and government was given an opportunity through maybe a town hall, or even if it's virtual, if they're afraid to come out for whatever retaliation reasons or whatever they feel is going to happen, just like some people are afraid to call to the police. They're saying, I don't want to call the police because something bad might happen, right? For a crime. But some way of communicating and having people be able to communicate with us is, I think, the key, is so that we can hear you and tell you, this is where your general fund money is going. This is why we're suing or being sued.
And keep going to the right if you like, Mr. Benetti.
Walt Benetti again. Quality of life encompasses a wide range of things. One of the issues that I've seen in Kenner for the last 26 years is, particularly again after Katrina, we have obliterated our middle class. 40% of Kenner's jobs are in retail, hospitality, or low-paying healthcare. 40% of Kenner rents. I rent. There are a lot of people out there who can't make enough money to afford a house or to afford a down payment. We need to rebuild our middle class. We need to diversify our economy. We need to bring in new jobs and new businesses and help Kenner prosper. Recreation is also an important facet of quality of life. Under Mayor Glazer and previous mayors, they have started and begun closing and leasing out our playgrounds and our facilities. That has escalated under Mayor Glazer. We cannot lease our gyms and our fields to for-profit businesses that make money while locking out our children. We have gyms throughout Kenner that only have free play for 2 hours a week. Our children need more opportunities, more recreational opportunities. We need more recreational opportunities for our families and adults. To attract families back to Kenner, we need to have things for them to do, and we need to provide that as a government. We're not doing that now.
So any sense of what the citizens have talked about as far as a quality of life issue?
That has a lot to do with it, and they also talk about code enforcement. Under previous Mayor Ben Zahn, Kenner routinely did code sweeps throughout the city. I have not seen many code sweeps under Mayor Glazer. I don't know why he stopped that. The code enforcement department in Kenner is reactive instead of being proactive. They act on a complaint. They will drive past issues. We need to change that. They need to be more reactive, and they need to be more proactive in getting out there and changing things.
Okay. Mayor Glazer?
Yes. Well, I think the first thing you need is to know what you're getting yourself into before you make comments like that. I mean, code enforcement is out every day driving around. You see pickup trucks everywhere. Come to code enforcement court, and you'll see how many complaints we issue citations for. The biggest, I guess, quality of life in Kenner is, look, when I was a policeman, I would always say that it's like an NFL football game, any football game. You see the little guys dressed like zebras, and you never hear from them unless you do something wrong. That's pretty much the only time you get involved. You progress to the mayor's office, quality of life is everything. Most people know about wastewater is you flush a toilet, you walk away, and that's pretty much it. You have no idea it's on the brink of disaster, every day of the week. That we have 84 lift stations that need to push wastewater to our own one treatment plant. It's a very toxic environment. It's 60 years old, and it's been neglected for a lot longer than 60 years old. Roadways. You never hear anybody say about a roadway until you hit a pothole. The roadways are, things are slow. When you get federal money, the only thing that penalizes is time. Quality of life, going back to the roadway, Roosevelt Boulevard was by far the worst roadway in Jefferson Parish 4 years ago. We jumped on it, secured funds from the Regional Planning Commission, which is federal funds that go through state DOTD, come to me. It's a convoluted, bureaucratic nightmare is what it is. They finish it up in the next 2 months. It took 4 years for the time we addressed the situation, secured the funding, designed it, bid it, because we don't bid federal funds. State DOT bids federal funds, but I have to sign off on it and agree to the bidding. It's crazy. But quality of life, yes. I think just when you don't see government and you go about your business, that's the best quality of life you can have.
So Mayor Glazer, I want to give you a chance to focus on citizens and what your sense is of what they're concerned about as far as quality of life.
Well,
30 seconds.
The thing that keeps coming up is this Esplanade Mall. It's a privately owned piece of property that the owner can do whatever they want to do with it. And unfortunately now they want to do nothing with it but sell it. I was optimistic when it sold right after I took office, but this group from out of town, just outside of Chicago, Illinois, really had no plan. They realized they bought this piece of property and didn't know they bought the ring road and all in the sewer lift station in it. So they pretty much they want nothing to do with it.
Thank you, folks. Appreciate
30
you.
seconds.
For what?
And he got an additional 30 seconds.
Okay.
So I'm providing you.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
I'm glad Mayor Glazer brought up the Esplanade. I'll try to make a concise argument about it. My plan for the Esplanade is completely different than his and Jefferson Parish's. Jefferson Parish plan calls for the Esplanade Mall, the main building, to be demolished and turned into a pile of dirt. I want to repurpose the mall. I've spoken with several developers. We can do that. We can turn it back into commerce and get new businesses and new jobs and new taxes.
To Diane Schnell, the Esplanade Mall needs to get back in commerce. It was a thriving mall at one time, and it can be a thriving mall again without question in my mind. There have been studies done. We do. I've heard what the mayor has said. want to see those studies. I've asked to see the studies to see what, if in fact, is the problem, because I've also met with people in Washington, because I go to Washington, and I've had several people tell me that they have tried to do business in Kenner, and so I don't understand where the conflict comes in, and if it is the conflict that the mayor has stated, why aren't we being provided with those studies? Why is that such a hard time? Why are we giving such a pushback on that? I would like to see that, but I believe 100,000% it can come back in commerce.
Okay. So I'm going to ask each of you a similar question. So it's not the same question for each of you, but it's the same subject matter. And that is about living and financing a campaign. So that's going to be for each of you, with a little twist for each of you. So, Mr. Mayor, what I'd like you to tell our WBOK family of listeners is how much you earned as police chief, how much you're earning as mayor, and is there other income that you have, and how are you financing your campaign?
All right. As chief of police salary, all right, Mike Glazer. When I took office, when I was elected in 2014, the salary for a police chief was $68,500. And there was a state supplemental pay at the time. I believe it was $6,000 annually. So in the low 70-something thousand. Then Councilman Keith Conley, when he sat on the Kenner Council, he had an ordinance passed where it raised the police chief and mayor's salary to say $120,000, somewhere around there. The mayor makes a little bit more than a police chief because the police chief gets the state supplemental pay, which, you know, as the legislature in Baton Rouge changes it, it goes up. It's now, I think, $7,200. But built in Kenner's budget and forever, I get some kind of a couple $100 a month kind of expense account where I can take people to lunch and things like that.
But
so
the
it's
mayor's-
about
the mayor's
$127,000 annually.
Other income?
Just wife. That's it. That's it.
And how
But-
do you finance your campaign?
Well, you accept campaign contributions from various either political action committees, individuals, or contractors with the city of Kenner, and all over these large engineering and construction companies, and anyone they contribute. That's how they try to, I guess, keep their name relevant. We get a lot more than Kenner doesn't have a lot of projects to give out. So these things cost a lot of money to if radio, TV, these push cards, flyers. And if you look at my expense account, the large majority of the contributions I get go out to every nonprofit in the city of Kenner. They're always calling and asking for money.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Wall, so how do you live? The finance disclosure seems to indicate that you don't have income, but clearly you do somehow. And how are you financing this campaign? You've said you're self-financing, I believe.
Absolutely. Walt Benetti. There is a discrepancy on the campaign finance report. Mayor Glazer has pointed that out numerous times, and that will be adjusted. I am disabled. I do receive a disability and have since 2012. The federal government pays that, and now I'm past 62, so that's not a factor anymore. I also work with restaurants and provide them with marketing and advertising services to some friends who own restaurants. I'm financing the campaign myself. I'm not accepting any campaign contributions from any city contractors, past or present. All the money that I have, that I've contributed to my campaign, I'm spending on signs and push cards and getting out the vote. I think that's the way a candidate should do it. I don't believe in giving out contracts, and Mayor Glazer may try to diminish it, but he has given out tens of thousands, tens of millions in no-bid contracts primarily to campaign contributors. That will never happen in Kenner. At every council meeting, invariably, someone's.
I'm sorry. How are you financing your campaign with no income?
Oh, no, I have.
And okay, limited income. And how much have you contributed to the campaign, and do you have any other donors?
I have savings, and I have loaned my.
How much?
I have.
How much have you contributed?
I have loaned my campaign $20,500. I have a couple of small contributors who've given me $50. I have no other campaign contributors, no city contractors, past or present.
Okay. All right. Ms. Snell, same related question.
Okay.
And that is, how are you living? Your income, the financial disclosure seems to indicate you earn less than $10,000. That doesn't seem like a lot to live on, let alone finance a campaign. How do you earn a living? Or is there a discrepancy? And how are you financing the campaign? How much are you financing from yourself? And what kind of donors do you have for your campaign?
Okay, so I am not in a position to. I'm not financing my own campaign. And I have a situation where I have a disabled mother, and I have to take care of her. So my expenses are not extremely high because I live and have to take care for my mother. I also, everybody knows, or I knows that I do freelance journalism. So whenever there is a freelance story or opportunity right now it's on pause because now it's been full time for the campaign. But freelance journalism, you don't know what you're going to receive, ups, downs, you just I don't know if you guys know how that works, the freelance. Yeah. So, and I had put it on pause for an upcoming summer thing, big event that was coming in the summer that I had to resign from because of the candidacy, becoming a political candidate. So that was also a part of something that happened this year that I made a commitment to do. And I had to resign from that to focus on this campaign. So right now, I don't contribute to it. As far as donations, I did have, that was a big question. I had to decide, what am I going to do about this? And the community came forward to me. They came to me. They wanted to help me. And the people that could help me would give whatever they could. I've gotten even a donation as low as $4. And then
what's the total you've raised for your campaign?
Oh gosh, I wish I knew that exact number, but I know that we had some seed money that came in around the 30.
How much?
I want to say maybe right at this point, maybe possibly 50,000, maybe 40, maybe 45. I'm not exactly sure. You can't quote me on that because that goes through someone else, and then I have to report it.
Right. Thank you. All right, Eddie.
Yeah, a question. Same question for all three of you. And this time, we'll start with you, Mayor Glazer, and that is, what is a city operation issue, a city of Kenner operation issue that you would be looking forward to solving to better serve the citizens of Kenner?
Well, as you said, Mike Glazer, the biggest issue we have, like running city government, is personnel. For some reason, it's just a lack of willing people that want to come to work. We have the projected budget for next year, which starts July 1st, is $150.2 million. In that is there's a decent amount of positions that just don't have anybody in them, because if you take it out, the money goes to the general fund. We're still actively trying to hire people, even amongst city government, where you have different departments that have different rate of pay. Wastewater came in. It's always the highest paid of the field workers, and whenever there's an opening, you got people wanting to jump out of like public works or general services to try to get into a wastewater position because it's a higher pay. But to fill the backside is the ongoing struggle is to find somebody that wants to do the everyday, in the heat and all that kind of stuff. Police and fire are fully staffed. Suppression on fire has a waiting list. Police, some people aren't cut out to be police. They think they want to be police. They go through the police academy. They may last 6 months on the road and they give it up and leave. But that's the hardest thing of dealing with it's the personnel trying to keep the people coming in.
And we'll go to the left. Mr. Benetti, same question. A city of Kenner operation issue that you would be looking forward to solving to better serve citizens.
Walt Benetti again. The mayor said personnel is an issue, and it certainly is. When he ran for mayor in 2022, he spoke about cutting Kenner's personnel and cutting the bloated budget from the former mayor. He has only increased that, and the only people who have lost money within the city of Kenner are some Kenner firefighters. The biggest issue I think the people of Kenner have with Kenner government comes back to transparency. The fact that at almost every council meeting, there are no bid, non-emergency contracts to campaign contributors. People call me all the time and say, who got paid off for this contract? Who got paid off for that? That's an issue. I think trust in government is lacking in Kenner. When the mayor proposed and promoted the $7.5 million fire millage increase, he said that the Kenner Fire Department budget would significantly increase. It increased by $1 million because he clawed back $5 million back to the general fund that the city formally contributed. People are outraged by that. They see the bait and switch that happened under Mike Glazer. They don't trust government anymore. They see the closing playgrounds. They see the leasing of gyms. They see the lack of opportunities, lack of economic development, the open businesses in Kenner, the fact that we still have the same issues that we had 4 years ago, even 16 years ago, at the Esplanade with commercial blight, with a lack of jobs and diversity of our economy. People of Kenner don't trust government. We need to turn that around.
All right, and I'm sorry. Response.
I
Okay,
think
sure.
you get 30
Absolutely.
seconds to respond to that
Yes.
being mentioned.
Well, that's his, I guess, his campaign for the no bid contracts. Kenner has more stringent bid laws than the state of Louisiana. It is against federal and state law to issue low bid contract. You can't even bid it out to architectural and engineering work. Hard Rock is the best example I can get. You got a home builder that's designing a multi-story building that collapses and kills people. 1972, this has been on the books. The city of Kenner has more stringent bid laws than the state of Louisiana. It's a flat-out lie.
Thank you.
No.
Yeah, let's move on to Ms. Schnell. And so again, the question, Ms. Schnell, is what's a city of Kenner operation issue that you would look forward to solving to better serve citizens?
I believe we really need to reinstate the audit and independent audit department. That has to happen because we need to know where our money is going. We need to have we need to know where all of our taxpayer money is going, where it's being allotted to, and what priorities we're taking here. My other issue is with the growing population of Hispanic communities and other communities, that we do need to have more than one Spanish-speaking liaison. I know I've heard him say that there are multiple bilingual people in the departments. I'm talking about Mayor Glazer. But we know of only one, and I'm in the community. I live in the community. I work with the Hispanic community. And that person is the only go-to person that is the person that we go to. And then we get the calls all the time about why we cannot communicate with the city of Kenner. And we can't get, and then I'll even get calls personally from council members asking me to help them with their community in their districts to translate for them. So communication is an issue because you need to know your community to be able to serve your community. And if you don't know how to communicate or they can't communicate with you, then then it's only going to create more confusion, and we won't know how to do that. And I think the independent audit department needs to happen because we need to know what's going on with what. I mean, he could be doing a fantastic job, clean, great, but we don't know because we can't get those answers.
Okay, Mayor Glazer, you specifically mentioned.
Oh, by law,
30 seconds.
every year we have an independent audit. It comes in. It's the only contract that the mayor doesn't sign. The council signs it, awards it to an auditing firm. Every year they do it. Just because there's no more a person with, say, for example, you're the internal auditor. The person's still there. He just doesn't have the title. He's a part of the city attorney's office. That's how we found large problems in the city of Kenner, that we have different contractors now because of the inflated invoices. That's what every day when they come in and they look at all the contracts and the invoices. It still happens.
All right, thank you. We're going to move to a round of candidate questions. So, as you each know, we told you that you would have the opportunity for asking one of your opponents a question. So, Diane, if you would like, please pick one of your opponents and ask a question that's no more than 1 minute.
Okay.
And the response will be no more than 2 minutes.
So I'm going to have to pick Mr. Benetti because he's already in office, Mayor Glazer. So the question to Mr. Benetti is, how do you propose to serve a large Hispanic community, growing Hispanic community, communication-wise? How do you propose to do that? Do you propose to do it the same way, like hiring people to help you do that, or and on top of that, how many people do you believe we need to have, and where, in what positions?
Walt Benetti, I will need to hire people because unfortunately I'm not bilingual. But I speak with business owners all the time in every facet of Kenner, regardless of what their color is or where they're from. I understand their issues. I understand their issues with the city of Kenner. Just because I am not bilingual doesn't mean that the city will not be communicative with all of Kenner residents. One of the things that I have said from the beginning is that I want to be the mayor for all of Kenner, and I want to start moving all of Kenner forward together. There are parts of Kenner that have been neglected, not just by Mayor Glazer, but by previous mayors for decades. And you can see a dividing line in Kenner. Now, whether they're Hispanic or whether they're African American or whether they're Caucasian, I want to be the mayor for everyone in Kenner, and I will.
All right. So we have to change up. So responses will be no more than 1 minute. Okay. So would you like to ask a question of one of your opponents?
Sure. I'll ask Ms. Snell. As you brought it up, has no meaningful work history with lack of a significant income and really no history of managing or running anything. I mean, I think a person's past and a history is a track record of how you live your life, and you're going to be able to. $150 million budget is a lot. Over 600 employees, it's a lot to challenge. And when you have your past where you have large judgments against you, as much as 10 months ago, how are you supposed to tell the people you can manage running a department in this large budget when you can't handle a small budget in your own household? That's the biggest thing. How are you going to pull this off?
Okay, so my answer to you is, I'm ready.
Name.
Okay, Diane Janelle. So those are lies. Okay, yes, they're lies. I think they're also distractions, and I think he's also trying to rage bait. I'm going to be honest with you because he keeps talking about things that because I do get upset when I say what does. But first it was like you don't own this, you don't own that. Then it's like you this, but let's forget about that part. Let me tell you this. When I got appointed to the school board budget was close to $1 billion. Okay. And we were, I dealt with I was on the facilities committee. I worked with several contracts. And that is way higher than the $150 million budget that he has, the city of Kenner has. With regards to my personal finances, he doesn't know the full story of anything that's going on with my personal finances. He's just throwing out there things, and he sees things.
Time. Okay. Mr. Walt, your question.
Walt Benetti, my question, and I have many questions, but we'll limit those to one.
1 minute.
I
1 minute.
I understand. For Mayor Glazer, in 2022, when you campaigned, you said that you were going to bring amenities to South Kenner. You were going to bring a library. You were going to bring a grocery store. I have the printout, and I posted it online. Why haven't you fulfilled those campaign promises? Why did you say you're going to open up Kenner's gyms when instead you have taken recreational opportunities from the minority community and given them to for-profit companies?
The only gym in the city of Kenner that's closed is Wood Lake because of the mismanagement of the prior administration, where they blew all the money. So that's the only gym in the city of Kenner that is not open. That's the only playground that is not open. Buddy Lawson, I know that's what you're talking about, is open. They don't have children that live in this neighborhood. Washington Elementary is closed because they don't have kids in this neighborhood. So that has been repurposed. We don't have kids that want to play these traditional sports as it was back when I played and my kids played. There's a lot more things to occupy that time. AP Clay Resource Center in South Kenner, I told you, you use federal money, the only thing you pay is time. It's going to be groundbreaking is probably in 2 months. I don't control grocery stores. Government doesn't control grocery stores. We try to attract them. The same thing, like we went to the New Orleans Realtors, and I said, sell them all. Y'all get the commission. It's not an attractive piece of property as it sits today. It's got liens on it. It's got more infrastructure problems than anybody knows sitting on the outside. The recliner whiners is what I call them. They sit there and they just whine about anything and can't come up with any kind of solutions.
Time. Okay. All right, time. All right, we have limited time. We want to make sure we take advantage of this as much as we can. So we will get to closing statements, and so that's 2, 4, 6 minutes. All right, so
I get 6, you get 2.
No. Okay. So because we gave a choice before, you went first.
Thank you.
Who would like to go first, second, and third?
I'll go first because I think the last couple of times she was mad that I was last or something, or second to last. Or
I wasn't mad.
Or something like that.
All right, let's go.
I don't get mad.
All right, so sorry. Look, this is a very important election for the citizens and residents of Kenner. I just ask that they look into the 3 people. It's easy to do any kind of internet search. You see, you can find out things that really haven't been explained. I kind of said something about Ms. Schnell, and she says I'm a liar, but I would like her to let me, look, I'm not going to go print court judgments and put them out. It's just not something you do. But when you call me a liar, let me put them out. I mean, let me.
Well,
just
we can sit down and
August 12th of last year. August 12th of last year. I can guarantee you want a payment plan. If you're not on a payment plan, somebody gave you money to pay it off.
What?
So we'll see. I mean, that's this is a very important election for the city of Kenner, and don't buy all the rhetoric.
Okay. Next.
Walt Benetti again. I'm in the middle. This is the first time I've ever been in the middle. I am running for mayor of Kenner because I want change in Kenner. I don't want to look for my next job. I don't want to go to the parish or Baton Rouge or Washington. I want to fix Kenner, and I want to fix Kenner now. The mayor says you can't do a lot in 4 years. I think we're going to do a lot in the first 4 months. This election isn't about me. It's not about Mayor Glazer. It's not about Ms. Schnell. It's about the people of Kenner, and that's what my campaign is focused on. I have listened to the people of Kenner. I have answered questions. I've held live town halls on the internet. I respond frequently to everybody on Facebook or anyone who messages me. The other day, I was in Sam's Club eating a salt pretzel, and a couple came up to me and wanted to ask a question about Kenner government. Even though I'm not elected anything, within a short period of time, just sitting there in the food court at Sam's Club, 20 people gathered around and wanted to ask about different issues in Kenner. They know that I've been active. They know that I've spoken out at council meetings. They know that I've stood up for them. That's what I do. And that's what I will continue to do, whether it's supporting the Kenner Fire Department. For the first time ever, the Kenner Firefighters Association endorsed a mayoral candidate. They endorsed me, not Mayor Glazer, because they know that I can help fix the Kenner Fire Department, and I can help fix all of Kenner. That's what I want to do. My focus is on the people. It's not on these people. It's on the people of Kenner.
Thank you. And again, once again, thank you for having us, and thank you for giving us this platform. I agree. I think that we need to stay focused on the city of Kenner issues. We need to stay focused on the fact that we have 60-year-old pipe issues and infrastructure issues, that we have neighborhoods that can't flush a toilet on a rainy day, like a light rainy day. We have transparency issues. We have public trust issues. We have a city that we have firefighters that are complaining. They're saying 99% of the time they go to court, they win, or this is some of the things they say to us, and they're risking their lives. They're going out risking their lives to help us, the community, our families, and they're having to sue to get paid. Just the other day, yesterday, I received an email about an investigation somebody's investigating the Kenner Police Department, Kenner firefighters, because of their endorsement. I don't know if you heard about it, but that's an abusive, to me, it's an abusive pattern. I also had one person tell me that when I went to go put a sign up, I asked permission to put my sign up. They told me they gave me permission to put my sign up. And they said no one else was given permission. And 10 minutes later, code enforcement showed up. And they said they reported it. And then I had somebody call me yesterday and tell me that they have had my sign put up two times, and my signs were taken down. So I contacted the ethics board myself. So my point is that we need to stop with all the distraction. We don't need drama. We need solutions. And we need to focus on how to fix the problems we have in Kenner. We have a blighted Esplanade Mall. We have children that are afraid to go to school. We have kids in Kenner. Okay, if we have schools, elementary schools in Kenner, we have kids in Kenner, and we have families that are afraid to report. That's a public safety issue.
All right. Well, thank you very much. You have enlightened our audience, I am sure. For those who missed this, boy, did they miss something. And don't forget, it's been recorded on WBOK YouTube channel and WBOK Facebook page. So thank you very much to each of you for agreeing to participate.
Thank you.
Talk to our WBOK family of listeners. For those who missed it, can share beyond our WBOK family of listeners as they go back to recording and hear. Best of luck to each of you in the campaign, and best of luck to each of you for what living you do get to do outside of the campaign and outside of your regular duties.
Thank you.
I am Will Sutton. This is Eddie Francis, and we've got to close out and make our way out of here, because up next is The Front Porch. This is WBOK, 12:30 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about all day.